Alright, so I have like maybe half an hour. So coming off of my conversation I last had with Craig and Jed, the book of Enoch came up a couple times, and I sometimes bring it up, and I often bring up Enoch 1. That Enoch 1, or 1 Enoch, is the one that gets quoted in the Bible, in scriptures, but there's 3 Enochs, and I think I already uploaded where I read through Enoch 2, but I just figured I'd read the intro since I got a little bit of time to 3 Enoch. And this is the one where that Metatron is in, that where Enoch ascends into heaven and then he's transformed into like an angel. It's quite fascinating, and it almost seems to be the imagery from like that is similar to the book of Revelation, where it talks about Christ and his heavenly body, his heavenly image as well. So anyways, but I probably won't get to that part yet. I'll just read the intro though. Introduction of 3 Enoch. The Hebrew book of Enoch, or 3 Enoch, was very difficult to find in its entirety. It was likely written by a highly educated rabbi around 300 to 400 AD and preserved only in fragments here and there. Then, in 1928, Dr. Hugo Odeberg, PhD, gathered the various fragmentary sources and published the first full translation along with copious scholarly notes and the source Hebrew material. The University Press at Cambridge in the United Kingdom published his work. A photocopy of the book made its way to the United States and into the University of Chicago Library, where it was kept for many years. It was from his body of work and from his photocopied and preserved manuscript that some of the Hebrew language source material was compiled. The Hebrew source from the work at Cambridge was compared to and supplemented with various articles, fragments, quotes, and commentaries from dozens of other sources and references to produce the work before you. 3 Enoch purports to have been written around 100 AD, but its origins can only be traced to the late 4th or early 5th centuries. Other names for 3 Enoch include the 3rd book of Enoch, or the book of the palaces. The book is rife with Hebrew words which have no single English equivalent. Even though care was taken to define the majority of these words when first they appear in the text, the reader should expect only key words to replace or augment meanings thereafter. To do otherwise would either leave the reader to remember the meanings of all Hebrew words or bloat the book to the point of making it difficult for the reader to follow. Modern scholars describe this book as belonging to a body of work called pseudepigraphia. Oh man, I wonder if I got that one right. 3 Enoch claims to be written by a rabbi who became a high priest after he had visions of an ascension to heaven, 90 AD to 135 AD. Rabbi Ishmael is a leading figure of Merkabah literature. However, a number of scholars suggest that it was in fact written by a number of people over a prolonged period of time. Merkabah writings had to do with the temple of ascension into heaven. The name is derived from a Hebrew word meaning chariot, referring to Ezekiel's vision beginning in Ezekiel 1:4. Enoch's contents and ideas are unique and newer than those shown in other Merkabah texts, suggesting the book may be among the first in the Merkabah movement, or that it is derived through unique influences. Merkabah in Enoch 3. As the book's other name, the Book of the Palaces, implies, 3 Enoch is part of the temple or Hekkelot body of literature in which the palace or temple of heaven is described. As with 1 Enoch, the exact dating of this book is a difficult task, but some scholars believe it was completed around the time of the Babylonian Talmud, which was around the early 5th century AD. 3 Enoch was originally written in Hebrew, although it contains a number of words from both Greek and Latin. Parts of the book seem to have been influenced by 1 Enoch, showing the author was familiar with the mystical Enochian tradition. 1 Enoch verse 3 Enoch. Similar points appearing in 1 Enoch and 3 Enoch are: Enoch ascends to heaven in a storm chariot. Enoch is translated into an angel. Enoch as an angel is given authority in heaven. Enoch receives an explanation or vision of creation and cosmology. Enoch sees a hostile angel named Azazel, or Azazel. I don't know how most people say that. 3 Enoch and Metatron. The main theme throughout the book is the transubstantiation of Enoch into the angel Metatron. Metatron appears in various Jewish, Christian, and Islamic works, but was a central focus in medieval Jewish mystical texts and occult sources. Rabbinical texts point to Metatron as the angel who stilled the hand of Abraham, preventing him from sacrificing Isaac. The place and authority of Metatron has been hotly debated, as is seen even within the book. He is seen as sitting in heaven. This is only permitted if one is a deity. He is referred to in the text as the Lesser Yahweh. Yahweh makes up the tetragrammaton, forming the name we pronounce as Yahweh or Jehovah. It says the lesser, and it's got the letters YH, WH, I guess Yod He Vahe. I don't know. The 4 letters make up the divine name Yod He Wahe, having the sound YHWOU, or a place holder and H. When he ends a word, it is often silent. Due to the fact that German theologians were heavily involved in the theological research and study, one may also find the tetragrammaton rendered as YHVH, since the V in German has a W sound. There is a personal attack within the text. Oh wait, this says a curse for dualism. There is a personal attack within the text which should be explained. A curse is placed on a man known only as Acher, A-C-H-E-R. I don't know how to say that. In Hebrew, the name means the other, and is used as a term of alienation from the rabbinic community. The Talmud tells us that Elisha and Abuya entered paradise in a vision and saw Metatron sitting down, an action that in heaven is permitted only to God himself. Elisha ben Abuya therefore looked to Metatron as a deity and proclaimed, "There are indeed 2 powers in heaven." The other rabbis explain that Metatron was allowed to sit because he was the heavenly scribe, writing down the deeds of Israel. Babylonian Talmud, Haggadah 15a, I don't know. The intense hatred for any idea hinting at dualism or polytheism as opposed to monotheism caused such a reaction within the rabbinical community that they labeled Elisha be Abuya. I don't know why his name is like saying his name different every time. Elisha be Abuya, a heretic. Labeled him a heretic. Okay, in 3 Enoch, this point is driven home when the entire nation of Israel is to be reconciled to God, except for Acher, whose name is blotted out. Who is Metatron? In spite of the disagreements within the ancient Jewish community, the reader is still left to wonder what position Metatron occupies in heaven. Metatron is described in 2 ways, as a primordial angel and as the transformation of Enoch after he was assumed into heaven, and he is called the Lesser Yahweh. According to Genesis 5:24, Enoch walked with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. This Enoch, whose flesh was turned to flame, his veins to fire, his eyelashes to flashes of lightning, his eyeballs to flaming torches, and whom God placed on a throne next to the throne of glory, received after this heavenly transformation the name Metatron. A Christian perspective. As the Christian community came in contact with the Jewish book of 3 Enoch, they had little trouble reconciling the names and positions of Metatron. To those Christians, a person who may sit in heaven, who judges, and who is called by the same name taken by God must be Yeshua, Jesus. It may be of help if the meaning of the name Metatron could be ascertained, but it is not clear. Suggestions are that the name originated from the root words of such phrases as keeper of the watch, guard, or keeper of the watch, guard, to protect, one who serves behind the throne, one who occupies the throne next to the throne of glory, to lead, or to measure. None of these suggestions can be proven. From the text itself, we know only that Metatron is referred to as the youth, likely because he would be the newest and youngest angel. He is also called the Prince of the Presence of God, or the Prince of the Presence. His purpose in heaven was to be a witness against mankind. Oh man. the fact that they call him the youth is just amazing. Numerology in 3 Enoch. A type of numerology is used and referred to within the text. Tamura is one of the 3 ancient methods used by Kabbalists to rearrange words and sentences in the Torah, in the belief that by this method they can derive a deeper, hidden spiritual meaning of the words. Tamura, or Tamara, I don't know how you say that, may be used to change letters in certain words to create a new meaning for a biblical statement. Another method is called gematria. In this method, letters are substituted for numbers, and the meaning of words is the same value. And the meaning of words with the same value are compared along with the numerical meaning of the words. Metatron is Enoch. A preparatory summary of the first section of the book may be framed as a revelation from Metatron, or the Prince of the Presence, to Rabbi Ishmael. Metatron, as it turns out, is Enoch, and this is why the title of this book has come to be called 3 Enoch. Any question as to who Metatron may be is answered clearly in chapter 4, where it is written, Rabbi Ishmael said, I asked Metatron and said to him, why are you called by the name of your creator by 70 names? You are greater than all the princes, higher than all the angels, beloved more than all the servants, honored above all the mighty ones in kingship, greatness, and glory. Why do they call you youth in the highest heavens? He answered and said to me, because I am Enoch, the son of Jared, or Yered. For when the generation of the flood sinned and were confounded in their deeds, saying unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of your ways. Then the Holy One, blessed be he, removed me from their midst, to be a witness against them in the heavens, to all the inhabitants of the world, that they may not say, the merciful one is cruel. The following text begins the book of 3 Enoch. Notes and explanations are italicized. Words placed in parentheses are alternate renderings of the word or phrase. I didn't need to read that last part for this, but whatever. So that's the introduction. I'll mark it. Hopefully I can start reading this soon. Hopefully I'll get some time. Cool.